man standing in his sunroof while driving his Cadillac down I-4.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do when they come for you?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Lorena Creel, and this is the Welcome to Florida show where we have fun laughing, cringing, learning about all kinds of stuff about the second craziest state in the Union. And with me, got my wingman culture casino and special guest returning Dad Man Walking. How are you gentlemen doing?
I'm extraordinary. I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. We got a little bit of more EFAP-iness in us, which means we'll get about 10 to 12 more minutes conquered, maybe.
Yeah, if we're lucky.
Oh, I'm special. Wow. Ooh, I feel really happy tonight, even better than usual. Thank you, Lorena. It is always an honor that you invite me on, and thank you for letting me be here with you guys.
Oh, well, you are absolutely welcome. Love having you. Love the outfit Culture's rocking tonight. It's very, very cool. I like the gray. I like the hat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, this is Hogwarts.
Even better. That's why I like it.
I was rocking the Hogwarts gear for y'all. So.
Yes. I need more Hogwarts alumni
there you go.
Gear.
There
They'll
you go.
give Universal some more of my daggone money.
Bye, money.
It's like, it's nice knowing you, you know. So much. It's crazy how much swag is there. But folks, yes, we will be doing or trying to EFAP yet another try to get 10 minutes of Defunctland's FastPass, Complicated History of Fastpass video. We take our time going through that because there's so much to talk about with respect to Disney history, with respect to how it's impacted Florida and continues to impact Florida, and just questions that we get from you as we see this evolution from the ticket books to the abomination known as Genie Plus and the Lightning Lane. So lots of cool stuff. So I see you folks are starting to file in here. Let me say hello real quick. I see you guys coming in. Please do hit that like button and share the stream out. Let's see, we've got Snortapoopas Q Burr, who is, of course, the polar bear from Pinellas County, says, hello, humans and other critters. Well, hello to you, my dear.
Hello.
Oh, I was in Club Cool yesterday. As soon as I see Coca-Cola, I think of the Coca-Cola polar bear.
Come on. Do they still have everybody's all-time favorite? You, please, tell me you drank some Beverly, didn't you? Do they still have it?
Yes. Here's the reason why I'm pausing. If you saw the live stream that I did yesterday from Epcot, I said, we're going to go in my favorite place, get free soda, Club Cool. Walk in there. I've got my mouth all ready to try like the vanilla drink again, the drink from the Dominican Republic again, which is like pineapple, vanilla, guava. I'm ready to try the Sprite with the cucumber drink that I like too. The drink from Korea that's like this apple lychee. I'm ready to try, the greats that I like, and maybe take a swig of Beverly to remind me how much I cannot freaking stand that, and definitely avoid the plum drink from China that tastes like a sweat sock. And some kind of Moldovan drink, which is raspberry. I didn't pay attention to it. Okay, so
that must be new.
Cool, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm ready to show everybody all the wonderful selections. Okay.
Oh boy. Okay.
Out of eight flavors available, guess how many were available yesterday?
3.
1.
3.
3. Yeah. There you go.
Want to know what those 3 were?
Beverly, the plum stuff, and something else that's nasty.
Grody.
The Moldovan drink wasn't really nasty. It was kind of there. It's like raspberry, and so it's not real offensive, but it's not really the one that you're gonna go to. But I'm almost knocked back some Beverly.
Can I throw in real quick because Beverly was like a family joke for all of us, especially when the in-laws came. We dared each other to do stuff. My nephew, when he was young, drank it. Listen, people, Beverly, they call it an aperitif, which is supposed to be a palate cleanser. Well, after that, you'll have no palate after that. It's take the worst cough medicine and amp it up 400,000 degrees. It's worse than that. But there is video of me taking 3 cups of Beverly and chugging them back to back to back. So,
you know what? That is the family joke that we would tell people, all our family. Say when their family goes to Disney, say, hey, guess what? You gotta try this drink. It's called Beverly.
Yes.
I did that to my nephew. I said, here, try this soda. It's really good. And he tried it. Oh my gosh, his face. And I had it on video. It's perfect.
And the kids are always like, I can do it. I drink it. The kids don't know what they're in for. So it's like, okay.
Oh
my.
It's gross, but nowhere near as gross as that drink from China.
Well, and like I said, when I took the 3 shots back to back to back, that's really the way you have to drink it. It's just quick. You don't sip it, you just shoot it. So
knock it back.
Yeah.
Like cough medicine.
Worse than the worst cough medicine.
Hey, Keely Chow. Good to see you. Roll Tide says, hello, everybody. We've got Mark Daly in the chat, says, man in the panhandle checking in. But hello, my dear. Good seeing you. Good seeing you out finally from under all those claims.
Yeah.
And looking forward to my weekly education about my adoptive state. Yes.
Lot to it.
A whole heck of a lot. And Dragon Master 360 is here. Says howdy all. Apollome's minion is here. And thank you so much, Apollomy. I put pictures up on Twitter and on Instagram of the gorgeous storm art that she sent me. It's like literally individual beads in it, and it's so gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous. She sent it to me in a frame, so didn't have to do that, but it is gorgeous. And of course, I'm gonna have to rearrange my studio a little bit because I gotta show that piece of art. It's gorgeous.
And she's got the cutest little dog out there on YouTube. So hey, little truck
such
dog.
a cute, cool doggo. Love it. Thank you, Apollomy. Stay safe out there, my dear. Let's see. We have Parkours, who I don't think I have seen in here before.
He actually, I met him on another Fortnite stream a long while back, and he's come over to my stream. So I shouted out at the end of my Fortnite stream tonight. So
well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Always north of the border.
Seeing new folks. Unlike the first craziest state, Florida keeps the crazy out of government. Yeah, you got that right.
At least for now.
At least for now. Hey, Terminus says, hey, everyone. Terminus with those crazy puns. Oh, my goodness. Freaking love it. And he says, thank you, Dad Man, for directing me to be here. Well, good to see you. Thanks, Dad Man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Jillian.
Still around.
Jillian N is here, says, greetings, everyone. Great to see you. Well, great to see you too. And Jillian is killer in the Jackbox game robot rap battle. I'm telling you.
Oh, really?
Yes. She writes some sick rhymes. Sick rhymes. So upcoming Jackbox stream, we're gonna have to play that game. Just think of like Transformers doing rap lyrics. It's fun. It's fun.
Right.
I just love looking at all the robots. Let's see, we have Dylan C who's here. Hello, says hey Lorena, Culture and Dad Man. Well, hello to you. Hello to you. Of course, the free soda was out or nasty. They wanted you to buy the ridiculously overpriced soda. Yeah, here's the thing, that it's been free like forever. And I don't remember ever a time when that many dispensers were closed. Some of them would be closed because people would drink all of it. So you still have like 6 or 7 of them out there, and maybe just like one, which is kind of understandable. But that was the thing. You drive in there to go and try all the soda you want and leave. I don't think I've ever seen anyone buy.
Isn't there like 8 to 10 dispensers? But the worst I've seen is maybe like two or three or four out, but never with only 3 options. Never that bad before.
It was that bad, but I'm gonna gripe about it on theme park there.
That's okay. Do they still have that? Do they still have the stuff from Germany?
No,
I hate
they used
that.
to use it, but
I
no,
love that. That was my favorite of all of them. But
yeah, they don't anymore. They kind of rotated them in, and they have one from what the heck do they have? They have one from the Philippines. That's like a sour watermelon. It's okay. It's different. I mix it with the vanilla soda. It's still good. Hey, Punk Trace says, hey, Dad Man, Lorena Ann Chuckles. Hello.
Hello.
I see Stuart Mitchell in the chat saying hello to all of us. Good to see you. We got Kev L in the chat says hello. We've got Jerry Minoza in the chat. Good to see you. And Jillian says all the MCs step aside when they see me because I'm a winner on Jackbox TV. See, rhymes like that.
I know that's he's throwing down in the chat already. Look at that.
that attitude, you got to have that attitude. That,
Yeah.
I mean, and Lorena's not kidding. I mean, I came in late. I was like, that was not my forte, but Jillian was, oh man, on fire.
Awesome. So we'll have a
Girl
Jackbox
is on fire.
Jackbox game night coming up, switching up the games and everything. It's going to be so much fun. So, folks, before we get to the lovely EFAP, I know it has like been forever. What I want to say since where the heck did that go?
I don't know.
That's okay. I'll get
Are
there.
we going to have a poll this week?
You know what? I totally forgot to do it, and I blame Professor X because as soon as I was going to do that,
Yep.
he starts crying about his treat. Like, where's my treat, woman? Where is it? Where is it?
Gotta have that.
Where is it? So, Florida man slaps woman with a slice of pizza during an argument. Deputies say.
Huh.
Marion County represent.
All right.
So apparently, a Florida man is facing a battery charge after he allegedly slapped a woman with a slice of pizza during an argument. Deputies responded to a Marion County home for possible domestic call after receiving a 911 hang-up call. Those are never good. You hang up on 911, they're going to call you back. You don't want to do that. So apparently, they found this guy outside the residence, and he told law enforcement he had gotten into an argument with a woman. Again, not out of the ordinary. We've all seen this happen on cops. When deputies spoke to the woman to confirm what happened, she told deputies that Alfonso became upset about her physically disciplining someone on his bottom area and then struck her in the face with a slice of pizza. The report redacts who she's accused of disciplining.
Okay.
I didn't know you could use pizza as an assault weapon.
Maybe you can.
But apparently in this case,
Why would you waste a perfectly good piece of pizza?
That's a good question.
Unless it had
know.
bad toppings on it, but geez.
I was going to say if this was at Disney, I could understand because Disney pizza is pretty nasty. But if it was like New York style pizza, that's a crime in itself.
True.
And a Creole that was rather crusty.
Oh, that's funny.
Next year, we arrested for a pie in the face from Cannibal. And Dylan C says, I guess that's a pizza ad they can't run.
I guess it's a way to say keep your pie hole closed, maybe.
I guess. Tell you, literally, I just pulled this up today.
That's yeah. But Marion County, that's down near south of Gainesville, so that's getting in the heart of the sticks of the state. So yeah, that's probably appropriate for that area.
Yeah, it's a little out there. Nah, somebody said, wow, what did she do to get hit? Who knows? Who knows? If you ever watch, cops and they get called to a domestic and you see some stuff like this, it could be something as simple as he looked at me the wrong way. Yeah. Or in the case of one elderly couple, one stole the other one's marijuana. miracle marijuana, and he hid it, and she got mad. And they wound up arresting Mima. It was the weirdest domestic call I'd ever seen.
That wow.
Yeah.
Well, is it deep dish or thin crust? I mean, that's another debate. Because if it's deep dish, then maybe it wasn't so hard to the face. So
I don't know.
The questions, we got so many questions. What kind of journalism is this?
Says Fox 35 news staff, so apparently no one wanted to put their name on this one.
Wow. I bet not.
I'm not putting my name on that. Thank you, Scott Westbrook, for gifting memberships to the channel. I sure do appreciate that, my dear. So many things out there for you members. So definitely take advantage of it, especially the emojis. Pizza so hard. Pizza hard enough to use as a weapon is pizza you don't want to eat. And I'll eat Little Caesars. Wow. Might have been some of that nasty take home and eat pizza. And yeah, definitely not New York style pizza. That's what I'll tell you.
No.
Well, it's been a while, but we haven't seen Wheel of Fugitive. So we're going to watch this week's before we get back to the EFAP. I really missed it from the Brevard County Sheriff.
Oh, man.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sheriff Wayne. I'm in the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and it is time for Wheel of Fugitive. Man, I am excited. You know why I'm excited? Because it's an opportunity for us to partner together to get 10 wanted individuals off our streets. You know how it works? I got 10 of them up on the wheel. All of them have active warrants for their arrest. We need your help in getting them off the street. Let's give it a spin. See who our fugitive of the week is here in Brevard County.
He looks very happy, though.
Oh yeah, he's probably they get so many tips for this.
Even if they don't pick one, you still see the names.
Hey, Chef Nation.
All right, folks. This week we're looking for Tamara Ann Howard. Miss Howard's a white female, date of birth 7/9/75. Her charges, she's got 2 warrants. Both warrants are for violation of drug offender probation, reference possession of cocaine. Her bond is $2,000 and her last known location is the Palm Bay area. Well, Ms. Howard, let me talk to you first. Your bond's only $2,000. Please go turn yourself in at the Brevard County Jail. $2,000 bond. You can get this chapter of your life behind you. Get a bondsman to get you out of jail. Go get some help. Go let the judge know you're going to do the right thing. If not, we're going to have to come get you and all the other stuff that goes along with that. Don't make us do that. Please go turn yourself in. If you know Ms. Howard, please encourage her to go turn herself in and do the right thing. If not, though, our citizens always partner with us. They'll let us know where we can find her at by going to crime line at 1-800-423-TIPS. Send us an email at wheeloffugitive@bcso.us. Tip on our smartphone or just a tip right here on Facebook. Either way, Ms. Howard, go do the right thing. As always, I want to thank our citizens for their amazing support of our agency, and we'll see you next week on Wheel of Fugitive.
All right. Scott Westbrook says he's just that animated in person, too.
Okay, so they show everybody a little more close up. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get a good look in case you see these people.
Well, 2 things I think of is, like Snorter Pippas said out there, I mean, it looked like the sheriff loved his pizza. So that's the first thing I had. And the second, $2,000 bond for something like this. I mean, that's so low. I would think they'd have somebody with a bigger crime than that on a wheel like this, but oh well.
Well, I mean, the goal is to just get people to come clean on what they got to come clean on. That's, so I get it. And it is something that maybe they could sort out. I mean,
yeah.
I love this though. Every time we run this one, I'm always like, this is just crazy. Yeah.
It is the absolute hilarious.
Those were kind of tame mug shots, though. We didn't have any really great, outstanding mug shots that time.
Bonzo Kilboard, hey, says, what's the point of spinning the wheels? The point of spinning the wheel is to pick out the fugitive that is going to be featured in the video. So everyone else, they just get like about a 3-second blip, but whoever that lands on when you spin the wheel, you get featured in depth. Or to get people to snitch. That too, Kevin. All right, folks. Well, we are back to the EFAP. Oh, Jillian says we need faces.
There
That's
we
Probably
go.
another
Yeah.
show.
There you go.
There you have some great mugshots.
Oh yeah,
Dennis'
definitely.
best nightmare. I mean, Dennis, either worst nightmare or make money.
I'm still looking for I forget which sheriff where their transport wagon to their transport van to the jail is like a jail courtesy shuttle or something like that.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that meme.
Yeah. I'm still looking for it. I keep looking around when I'm in the county looking for that van so I can get footage of it. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can get through 10 minutes of footage. So last
And it
time
starts
we're
with Splash
talking
Mountain.
about yeah. Wow.
Not there
Yeah.
anymore. They
Yeah.
ruined it.
Yeah, it's got tarp and holes in it and barriers that say, what is it? Salt company or something like that. One of them two.
Oh,
One of them two things. Either way, it's just it looks like a mess, and so many people walk by and they see that it's closed. It's just like, why?
Well,
You
without
don't-
trying
you don't
to
get
go
it.
too far off track, that train stop used to be over there back behind Splash Mountain. Do they still have that train stop open?
Yes, the train is still running. It's not now changed back up and running. So now, yeah, it does stop at Frontierland like usual.
Okay.
Mhm. So at least they do have that back. So here we go.
Users to view wait times and FastPass return times.
So
from their
this was
phone,
with the
real-time
Verizon
information from the
phone.
park's
I
computer
never
system.
did that
They
because
could
I didn't
not
have a
book or view
Verizon
their
phone.
FastPasses from the app, but this was
Matter of
still a
fact, I don't
powerful
even
tool for the time,
remember
and it had a valuable
any
feature. Guests
advertisement
could
for
now
this.
balk at an attraction's wait time from the other side of the park. Understanding the power the app had over guest decisions, Disney began to inflate posted wait times to point guests in certain directions. For instance, if there were too many people
Because I
in
think we
Tomorrowland,
talked about
Space Mountain's
this,
posted
about the
wait time might be
inflated
adjusted to 90 minutes,
wait
despite the
time.
actual
Wait times,
wait
yeah,
only
the
being
lies.
60, in order to dissuade guests
Yes.
from visiting the crowded area of the park. This also served the additional function of improving guest satisfaction, as actual waits were almost
Mhm.
always shorter than posted waits.
And I think we talked about this in the last show, Culture, that back in the day when you were walking through the line, the cast member would sometimes give you like this
Yep.
little red placard
And you put it over your neck.
you
Yeah.
put it over your neck and you go through the ride and then hand it off at the end so they could more accurately determine what the wait times were. And the wait times were pretty accurate. It may be off like maybe 5 minutes or so, but nothing like I've seen in person, like Culture's talked about, and you guys have seen like on live streams where they're post a wait of like 70 minutes, and it took us like 40 minutes to get through there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was neat with those cards is the kids loved them. It
Yeah.
gave them
Yeah.
something to play with the line.
Well, and
yeah,
I mean, and it gave them a purpose. I mean, that's just you you kind of the people who got those, they may have felt like, hey, I got a purpose here. I'm trying to help, with the wait time. So.
that's before my kids went before they built all the Winnie the Pooh, all the little side distraction things that you got in the wait lines.
Right.
So we were resorted to old school. You got a red card.
That's right. There you go. You got a card. Play with the card.
Take
Have
it
fun.
with you. But now, the wait
And it
times
gave
are
ride
so
operators a
purposely
buffer in the
inflated,
event
and
of
it's
delays or
just
downtime.
it's
It is
ridiculous.
unclear when the strategy began, but it will become an integral part of My Magic Plus's crowd control features when the new app launched. In November of 2009, 2 years into the development of Next Gen Experience, it was announced that Jay Rasulo would become the CFO of the Walt Disney Company, switching places with then CFO Tom Staggs, who would be taking Rasulo's position as the head of the Disney parks.
So that's the guy that
That's the guy.
that's the guy.
Question though, wouldn't you think a CFO would really have accounting experience? and they keep changing these two in and out, like from parks and marketing and stuff. I mean, it's
Well,
like they're interchanging with a financial person. It's kind of odd to me.
it is. It's very odd, and but it's not the first and only time that Disney's done odd stuff when it comes to that position. You
Maybe
know,
that's
and the weirdest thing is, I mean, now they're considering, making McCarthy potentially it put her in a leadership position, and I think that is the most ridiculous thing
What?
I've ever heard.
Mhm.
Yeah. One of the rumors is that she's being groomed to take over for Iger when he retires as part of his succession plan.
I
Maybe that
can.
wasn't
I
the
can.
news you wanted to hear.
No, it doesn't surprise me. I've seen enough C-suite games happen that, like, for example, when Dabman was like, okay, well, if you're going to be CFO, shouldn't you have accounting experience? The thing is, they won't really expect for him to, but he just needs to rely on the people with the experience, giving him the numbers and giving him the PowerPoint and
Yep.
basically making it look like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So they'll go and do that. McCarthy as CEO of Disney, optics wise, to satisfy the DEI people, it looks perfect. But remember, this is the chick who had the gall to tell people that, oh, we have the reduced portions at the parks and
Oh,
maybe it'll work good for people's waistlines too. Excuse me?
what about our budget line? You
They
know,
don't care about that.
I know.
They don't care. It's like when all those cast members got laid off by email during the
Mhm.
pandemic, but McCarthy got her multi-million-dollar bonus.
And
Yes,
that's an
we
easy
did.
attitude for them to have. But then where does it stop? Because it was the same attitude with Galaxy's Edge, and what it became was you just slap Star Wars on
Hey,
something, and everybody
Demai.
will show up, no questions asked. And I, as a Star Wars fan, it was very disappointing to go into. You know, and no, as a Star Wars person, it doesn't work by just slapping the name on it. With what they chose to do and the directions they went. But I know you talked all about that. Culture's talked about that. So
Yeah,
it's,
yeah. If they put McCarthy, it just no. Every call she's been on, she's not doesn't really inspire confidence. Never really have. And it's it's a good DEI move according to them, but no,
mhm.
that is not going to go over well. I'd almost rather have Josh tomorrow, but
Josh has not been doing a great job lately. But
nope, not at all.
The switch was Iger's decision, and it was done to see which executive adjusted better to their new role. This was
Okay, wait a minute. All right, so Iger did that switch to see who would do better at their new job first.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, that sounds really stupid.
That's like throwing darts at a board to pick who's the best person for the job instead of actually, I mean, because some people cannot function in a CFO role. They might be good at marketing, they may be park development and stuff, but just because they may have taken one guy out of his strong area, put him in a weak area where he's going to fail. I think at the end of the day, you got to have some good handle of the numbers for the CFO position. But the other guy had been parks or whatever, and then now he's put in charge of accounting and financial reporting and stuff. People can tell when you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, when you get the stockholders and you're asked to analyze statements and stuff like that, they know when your stuff or you're not. And but like y'all said, you have to rely on your people below you. But then again, there have been a history of different other things out there. I will just say that is the accounting creative or is it?
Yes, are you cooking the books or not?
Yep. So
this was a way to help Iger determine his successor, as he planned to retire from the company in 2015. Staggs was inheriting the next gen project and My Magic Plus, and the
Right.
pressure was immediately on for him to deliver on the team's plan.
He's the gift that keeps on giving.
Their ambitions.
He sure
Not
is.
only did the Next Gen team want to reinvent park tickets and hotel keys, they
Yes,
wanted to
Jerry, that was
completely
Bob
overhaul
Iger.
FastPass as well. The new system would be titled XPass, and it was a key feature of Next Gen's Guaranteed Experience initiative. The philosophy behind guaranteed experiences was to increase customer satisfaction
Mhm.
and guest retention at the resort by removing unwanted variability in vacations.
In other words, and this was around the time I think that I started traveling to Disney more often. This was the thing that basically forced you to plan even more of your vacation before you even left. It wasn't, hey, get to my hotel, I check in, and I can kind of decide which attraction, I want to do or get on or whatever. No, it's like literally every day you had to plan what attractions that you were going to go to get your fast pass, and it forced you to do that. And when I hear about removing unwanted variability in vacations, that unwanted variability is also known as the flexibility that people wanted to have for their vacations. But your
Unwarranted for who?
flexibility as
Yeah.
a tourist is not what they want you to do.
Unwanted from the company standpoint, because if they can control and direct you where they want you to spend more money and your time, it's to their advantage. Because, like you said, there unwanted variability. I like the variability. Being somewhat local, I like to take my truck off property and go to local barbecue places or something if I want to. In this matter, if you've made all these commitments, these reservations, or these fast pass times, you're stuck. You're stuck into doing what they want you to when you want to.
Yep.
And especially if you're going to be charged for some of them. If you do a princess dining or something, if you forget to cancel your reservation, you're paying a cover charge for it. So hey.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
And how badly was XPass anyway? Jerry, we've been talking about it, and you're going to continue to hear us talk about how bad it was. Hey, Christine says, hey, beautiful Lorena Creole. And
Hey.
yes, hope you're doing much better, my dear. I hope so. Good seeing you.
The program sought to ensure that guests would be able to eat at their favorite restaurants and ride their favorite rides during their trip. This is where XPass came in. Guests would now be able to book multiple fast passes before they arrived at the park.
And this was the problem. It's like, how do I know I want to ride Peter Pan's Flight and Space Mountain and Splash Mountain, which they didn't let you do all three in advance? How would you know that was something that you wanted to do?
Or
months before you arrive.
Right. Or what happens when you get there? Say if you come in flight or whatever and you have jet lag, or somebody, if you got a kid that's gotten sick, that's your day that you chose that day for that one thing. You may not get it other days, but you've been forced to pick a day. You don't know what is going to happen the day you travel. Anything comes up. So that's the beauty of having the flexibility. But it's like it's created by somebody in a lab. We're going to make a very antiseptic vacation. We're going to have a plan from A to Z. It's going to be very linear, Well, everybody with a family vacation knows nothing's linear about it. All hell breaks loose. I mean, crazy things happen. People get sick. They don't feel well. They need a nap at a certain time of day. And if you're going in summer in Florida, which we refuse to go many years from June to September, you got to go back in the middle of the day because that heat will kill you if you don't hydrate. Even if you hydrate, it still takes a lot out of you. And what if you got a 2:00 fast pass? Somebody got a headache, got sick. It took away any of that type of flexibility you can't plan for. If you know the day of you're having issues, well, maybe we go to a different park or we do a different set of rides or, but when you've fixed it, you got what you got. That's why I get back to unwanted variability. The fact is that it's their unwanted variability, not the travelers. And to me, the beauty of it has always been having the freedom to do what you want, the day you want, when you want, and go back and forth.
Exactly.
These helped. These helped when in the old system where you could choose where you wanted to. When you got there, you could do different things. So
exactly. If you decided you were going to go to Space Mountain that day or whatever, the passes were just available for that particular day. With this fast passes are being booked in advance, sometimes up to 10 to 12 days in advance. So before you can even, like, say, try to get a fast pass for that day, Disney guests could have had that thing booked for I don't know how long, and you all of a sudden you can't get one.
And as we remember from last week, they didn't have enough in the supplies, so they were finding early on that they were all gone. There was no availability for people to get them the day of or in the park, so they had to create more demand, reduce the supply to keep a certain number open, which obviously went really fast.
Right. Oh, man.
Well, and there were days, I mean, this was the other problem with the way they were doing it. And then there were days that you would enter a park with no shot at anything other than like a D level attraction at the best. Usually it was something a C, a B, or an A, and things that normally you wouldn't really have needed a fast pass for. And that was all that was available. There wouldn't be any e-tickets that you would have been available at all. And sometimes, if, as Lorena pointed out, if somebody has like an extended vacation, or a lot of groups have extended time vacations, and you only have a 3-day vacation, but because theirs starts before yours and finishes after yours, they can suck up all those premium fast passes before you get there. And so this system still to this very day, especially under the Genie Plus garbage, puts you at a disadvantage from the moment you get there. Even before.
Yeah, even before. Remember when I was talking about last week, I was talking about when I first had to experience this system. It's like I couldn't get the fast passes for the rides that I wanted for the first day that I got there. I could get them like further down, several days out from my trip, but without fail, it always seemed to happen the day that I arrive, or my arrival date, could hardly get any of the fast passes that I wanted. And Christine the Killer Car, thank you so much for that $5. I appreciate it. She says, I'm good. My Mini can be fixed. Thank goodness. Yes, cars can be fixed. Humans, not so much. So glad you are safe. And thank you so much for that $5 super chat. I should appreciate that. Cavatano asks a question. What is a D-level attraction?
Oh, okay. So at Disney originally, when you were going there, and from 1955 up through almost the mid 80s, you were purchasing a ticket book that would within it contain tickets that were A, B, C, D, E. And an A level attraction would be something like the carousel or the castle walkthrough or something like that. A B ticket might be the spinner attraction like Dumbo or something similar. A C level attraction would have been maybe, the train or the shooting gallery or something like that. The D level is where you started to get more interesting things. Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, those types of things. And then the E tickets were the premium tickets. The E stood for excitement. And those tickets would get you onto Space Mountain and Matterhorn and all of those types of fun attractions. So you would pay a certain amount of money. There would be a bunch of A, B, and C tickets. There would be 3, maybe D tickets, and maybe 1 or 2 E tickets, depending upon when you bought the book way back when. And that would cost you a flat price for that ticket book. Eventually, Disney wisened up and realized they were going to have to sell just D and E tickets. So they offered a pack that was just D and E tickets. But again, the same ratio. It was like 3 D tickets to 1 or 2 E tickets. So you really had to want to go on something to keep buying those tickets. So sometimes you would end up with a stack of D tickets you never used or you gave away out of that ticket book. And that was a way that you weren't really paying much for a park entry, if anything at all. And you were paying like 25 or 50 cents to park. And that was kind of what was happening at the parks back then. And then, of course, eventually they went to the all-you-can-ride one-day ticket entry. And from there, the rest is history with annual passes and all the other stuff. But that's how that went. So Space Mountain is an E ticket. Lots of other enjoyable attractions. Thunder Mountain, e-ticket. Those Splash Mountain, e-ticket. Those would all be
Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage would be an e-ticket. The Soarin' would be an e-ticket. So
Test
Yeah,
track.
definitely.
A test track too.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
and see that's arguable because I would still say that's a D.
Yeah.
But that's
Hey, but
just
you
me.
got to have something for somebody to do. Gotta
Oh yeah,
offer.
I mean
Yeah.
they would try to squeeze an E out of you for mission space.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably would try to squeeze a D out of you for Frozen. So,
I'm
Yeah, there
so
used to
mad
be a
about that
fast
ride.
pass on the Norway ride. That was interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, I miss the troll. I'm gonna tell you that
me too.
Mhm.
that was just one of the coolest parts of the maelstrom. Hey, Demajidai says, "How everyone doing? We are doing great.
Yep.
We are doing great, my dear. Hope you're doing good." Let's see. Let's march
And
on
rather than
here.
using paper tickets, they would use their XPass to enter the expedited queue. In late
Bracelet.
2011, news broke on XPass, mainly focusing on a rumor that FastPass would cost money. People took that great, but despite
I'm laughing because when this happened, some of the message boards that I was on, people were pissed. And this is
Mhm.
when you started to hear a lot of the chatter about Disney introducing a caste system, so to speak, in the
Yep.
parks that had never been there before.
Yep. Lots of pay to play ideas were getting yelled down at this point.
Yes.
the rumor turned out to not be true, at least not entirely. FastPass would still be available to everyone, but priority access would be given to those staying at a Walt Disney World Resort hotel. The
Yep.
plan was for guests to be able to book between 2 and 4
Mhm.
FastPasses before they arrived. The specific number would be different for each park and would vary based on attendance. On the busiest days at Magic Kingdom, guests would only be allowed to book 3 FastPasses, but on most days, they would be able to book 4.
I was never able to book for.
Nobody was.
No. And I was always going during the high tiers of time to begin with. So I always, I always had 3. But remember, for some of them, like the mountains, they were in a separate category. So you couldn't pick off Space
Mhm.
Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain and say there was your 3 fast passes. No, you would have to choose from which one of those 3 to get a fast pass for, and then pick your other 2 from the ones further down on the lower tier.
Even if they were available, it's kind of the similar concept. The ED, all those tickets, so you could get one of this, and they brought back the A through E ticket. Essentially, is what they did. You can get this one, but you can't get multiple of that level. But you could get, you could get Country Bear Jamboree, which we love, but
Mhm.
still, it's like they've, our imagination, one of those.
Yeah, it's like it's what they would do. Like when they opened Pandora over at the Animal Kingdom,
Mhm.
I believe they would not let you book the boat ride and Pandora
Right.
Just one,
as fast passes.
Just
It was
one.
just like, no, they wouldn't let you
one or
do
the
that.
other. Yeah. And let me tell you, the boat ride is not worth anything at all.
Oh,
What a
wait.
disappointment.
It isn't. You
Yep.
could get a good nap.
Well, you have to remember, I mean, that track, that boat ride was supposed to be much, much longer, much more detail, many more
Mhm.
animatronics, rather than just the one, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Everything else is screens.
one.
And it was an interesting idea when I saw the original ride layout that it actually ventured considerably underneath the queuing area for Flight of Passage, which is next door. It's still all a part of the same show building, except it also kind of ventured out the back part, which there's
Mhm.
still space back there. They could have just built what they originally planned, but they didn't. They also did not build the balance of the attractions in the whole, because there was supposed to be a third attraction there. So it's a long conversation, but it's not this one. So I'll shut
But it shows you what I'm talking about with respect to these
However, at
next
Epcot,
gen
which had
fast
significantly less
passes.
attractions, guests would only get to book 2 fast passes on busy days, while most days they would get to book 3. The times for the reservations will be determined by guest preferences. Guests would input which attractions they wanted to ride, and an itinerary
Mhm.
would be created with FastPasses to optimize guest flow throughout the park.
Now, this is what I'll use culture's phrase, bologna sausage.
Hmm.
The times that they would offer to you would be ones that they wanted you to fill, not what you wanted to fill based on what you wanted to do. Like, say, for example, when I was bringing my nieces and nephews, I wanted my fast passes early in the day because kids get cranky later on in the day. And they're just giving me fast pass times for the afternoon. It's like, that doesn't work for me. So for extra click, I had to go in there and change, and change the times. But it was never something that was beneficial
If
to
there were
me,
other times available,
traveler. Yeah, if
yeah,
exactly, if there were some of those available.
and you could have missed out in terms of clicking over to another time. You might have lost out on that one time they offered you.
Yes, and I have had that happen. So that's
Yeah.
why this whole system was so frustrating. My travel agent was just like, they've never had to put together guides for their clients about how to book a fast pass. Never had to do it before until this system came online. I'm sorry, Culture, were you saying something?
No,
Okay.
I'm just shaking my head because I'm like, it was overly complicated and very frustrating, and it hasn't improved much.
Yep.
No, not at
When paired
all.
with the rest of the next-gen technology, this had the potential to radically redesign crowd control. There was just one problem. Actually, there were 1,000 problems, but this was
Yes.
one of them. XPass sought to offer multiple fast passes to the majority of guests before their arrival.
It
The
is, Jerry
problem was
Minoz.
there were
It's
not
very
enough fast
bothersome.
passes available at the resort's fast pass attractions to do this. In the original fast pass system, popular attractions would run out of fast passes for the day by noon or even before, and that was when people could only obtain one fast pass every 2 hours. Since fast pass already took up the majority of a ride's capacity, and most rides at Walt Disney World were already operating at maximum capacity, it was not feasible to simply give out more fast passes for these rides. When the industrial engineers ran the models for XPass, it was apparent that there was not enough fast pass availability at the parks for the system to work.
And this is how I get into the stuff that, your girl used to do in grad school. When we would study queuing theory and we put together these models, especially when we would do time and motion studies actually out at Disney, seeing like throughput and all of that, you could tell just the big bottlenecks that there were with these attractions, and balanced with capacity. Didn't matter how many fast passes you gave, it still was not going to be able to handle everyone. And it was just one of the things that blew my mind. It's like, no matter how much you change the simulation for those popular rides,
The engineers quickly realized
wasn't
that
going to
in
work.
order to offer multiple fast passes to guests before they arrived, they would need to add fast pass to nearly every attraction at the resort.
Yeah. So this is where you started getting fast passes for meet and greets, fireworks, parades, things that you never had to have fast passes for. Like, for example, the Tomorrowland Terrace, right? Used to be back in the day, you claim your spot,
Yeah,
and you got a great view of the fireworks. You just
yeah.
had to be there early, early in
Just
enough
sit
time to
and
secure
sit.
your
Yeah,
position. Yeah, just
just sit.
sit there, hang out, got your snacks, send somebody for snacks. And it was great. It was a perfect way to see the fireworks. Well,
Yep.
with this system, guess what? Fast pass for the fireworks. So guess where they were going to put you? Aside from the garden, the Carnation Garden and Tomorrowland Terrace. So those places that used to be quote unquote free, you just had to get there and squat there first. Now you need fast pass.
And then it became a pay for dessert party, I think.
Yes, that was the next iteration.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead, but hey.
Oh, no, that's perfectly fine. And I don't think they actually talked about that in this video. So that's a very good point, Dad, man.
Yeah.
Because first it was oh, you just need a fast pass.
Yeah.
Then it was, hey, guess what? Now we're going to have these dessert parties where it costs you $85 for adults, $75 for children,
And it,
and it's not worth it. Now, when I went to Disneyland for Halloween time,
Mhm.
I did go to a dessert party was it for Fantasmic? Yes, it was. It was for Fantasmic. That was worth it. That was years ago, but that was
Yeah.
actually worth it. The ones at Walt Disney World, no. No, not for that much money.
No.
I mean, $40. There was a time when those dessert parties were around that, like
Mhm.
35, 40. So it wasn't bad, but now they're just astronomical.
Well, and it also illustrates how the system has changed from the early days of like Walt walking the lines with people, everybody being the same. Then the early fast passes were everybody fair shot, no difference in where you stayed, how much you spent, and all. To eventually, hey, we're going to monetize it, and the people that can afford to spend that money or want to spend the money, get it, and it lost its equitability,
Exactly.
which
And
was
you
the
get
spirit of Disney.
Yes, so you get that caste again, you get that obvious caste system of the people who have money and the people who don't. When it used to be, yeah, get there first, you get your spot. It's equitable, it was open to everybody, and did not uh did not go over well with a lot of people. Like this is not something that's been done before. This isn't, in the spirit of what Walt Disney wanted,
Mhm.
for the parks. Hey, your Muslim uncle, thank you for that $1.99 super chat, my dear. Good to see you. I hope you and Sufi mom are doing well. And yes, it says hail and happy Ramadan. Well, happy Ramadan to you, my dear. Hope you and your family are wonderful, wonderful, and blessed during this special time. And love Defunctland future collab. I would love to do a future collab with Defunctland. Totally would nerd out at that. I love their channel.
Mhm. All kinds of stuff.
Really.
I've seen abandoned hotels I stayed at before on their thing. The
Hmm.
history of the Nickelodeon Hotel that was right
Yes.
down in, we stayed there when it was a Nick Hotel. Kids loved it, but it's gone now. But yeah, all kinds of great
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Hey, the common nerd says, hail, pretty neat going through the history of this stuff. Oh, the good old days. Yes. Yeah. Love this. I love this type of stuff. That's why I'm glad I'm here with Cultured Dad Man talking about this.
Hmm.
So here you
The
go with
total number of
dots.
FastPass attractions at Walt Disney World would increase from 28 to 50 when the industrial engineers put the
Yes.
increased FastPass availability into
This
the
was like
model. It
every
still didn't work.
single
Even
flipping
with an
thing
additional
had a fast
22
pass.
attractions, there were still numerous days throughout the year where FastPass availability would be gone before a significant amount of guests could book all of their passes.
Yep.
To solve this, it was suggested that FastPass be added not just to every attraction, but also to things that were not typically considered attractions,
Hmm.
such as meet and greets with characters. Apparently, this still wasn't enough, so it was suggested that guests could obtain fast passes to things that don't even have lines, such as fireworks
Firework
shows
shows
or
or
parades.
yes. So they started adding them to those things. So again, the prime parade spots, like that sweet spot in front of the mosh pit for the front of the castle, that spot where people would like stake out early. Nope, sorry, you don't have access to that now. You need fast pass in order to get to it. It was just an absolute mess. You went from planning just the basics of your vacation, so you had plenty of time to be flexible and do whatever, to trying to pretty much plan every single thing before you got there. And especially the fast passes for the meet and greets for the characters. Nah, that didn't go over well either.
Rather
I
than
didn't like
skipping the
that.
line, special viewing areas would be created for these experiences, and guests
Yeah, I'm sorry. Remember when I was talking about the garden, the Plaza Garden
Hmm.
in front of the castle? That's one of the viewing areas that's roped off for the fireworks. A prime viewing area, and now you have to have fast pass in order to get in there.
Well, But and it depends on people. See, fireworks were low priority for us in terms. We'd rather ride the rides and come out of the rides. It just, but I mean, if you're having to shuffle availability to people to get their quotas, that's one thing. But not everybody wants the fast pass. I mean, we're happy standing over by the train station or somewhere else away from the crowds to watch the fireworks. Although if you're ever in Fantasyland, that's a good place to try to get to, and right under the fireworks.
Like Fantasyland. I know I used to like to watch from Frontierland.
And they created a disaster in part to make this happen as well, because this all came along at the same time as the hub expansion, which destroyed the entire front area of the castle, took away many shade trees, and replaced it with cancer-causing fake grass, that you were supposed to be able to sit on for fireworks and other things if you paid the price or got the parade viewing or the fireworks viewing fast passes. This was such a calamity, and it still is to this very day.
Yep.
It's just a mess. And like you were saying, Dad Man Walking, it's like for you and your family, you guys kind of watch the fireworks in another area. Like I know I'll usually try to watch, if I'm in the parks, I'll usually be over in Frontierland because I've seen them before. But like I saw, I want to say 2 weeks ago, I think I was streaming and I'm like, I'm trying to get out of here because you see all of these people waiting for the fireworks. That whole hub area was just a sea of humanity of people trying to cram in, to see the fireworks. And then of course you have the roped off area.
And they keep cramming in because, I mean, they'll let you keep cramming in and people squeeze in there closer and closer. It's unsafe. I mean, I think there could be safety issues. I mean, they block off walkways, but we like our space. We'd stay way out on the perimeter. Get your space. But then again, when it's over, people bust for the line to go head for the exit, and trying to get down Main Street is hectic. With everybody walking around you. So
yeah, it's
good luck if you try to go the other way.
Which other way?
Well, like if you're trying to get back through, if you're trying to cross from Adventureland to Tomorrowland, or if you were trying to go back.
Oh yeah, no, you never cross through the hub.
No,
especially after fireworks. No, you don't.
Nope.
You don't do it. If I stay and there's fireworks going on, if I can't get out before the fireworks, I'll just stay in the park because the crush of humanity is insane. And if you're staying at one of the monorail resorts, at least you'd have your own monorail, so to speak, after you get through the crush of people. Kind of have your monorail to,
If you stay at the Grand Floridian or the Contemporary and you don't mind a little walk, there's walkways to get there now, so you don't even need the monorail. Because sometimes at the end of the day, if everybody stayed, it takes you several monorails to get to your resort. Right.
That's correct.
That's correct. And so I always tell people, I'm like, if that's part of your strategy and you're staying at either Grand Floridian or at the Contemporary, that walk is not that bad. You just walk like 74 miles in that theme park. It's not, you can take another quarter of a mile to get to your hotel. It'll be all right. But the other thing is, here's a good strategy. I know this isn't a strategy session. We'll probably talk more about that on Theme Park Therapy Tuesday. But one of the things you can do is take advantage of everybody at the parade. Take advantage of everybody watching fireworks. Go ride stuff. People riding stuff. If you have seen enough sparkly lights in the sky before, and most of us have, you know what? Use that time to get on attractions.
Get on Pirates of the Caribbean, Space Mountain, all of those E and D ticket rides that are usually crowded. That's when you go is during the fireworks. And also another thing, there's a walkway to the Contemporary, and also you can take the boat to the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian. We usually wind up taking the boat.
Well, when we started staying off property, we would use the hotel monorails at times. We'd cheat the system just because, that massive people trying to get back to the ticket transportation center was so long.
Oh,
heck, we'll no, at least they didn't check you for resort things, so we just got
No,
one.
you can
Yeah.
go ahead and do that. That's something
Yeah.
that we did like all the time. It was
Yep.
more stops, but because I was traveling with a nephew that was on the autistic spectrum,
Mm,
and all that noise and all those people were very uncomfortable for
right.
him. That's why we would go on the resort monorail, which was, which was a
Mhm.
bit, much, so he could
Calmer.
kind of like,
It's a little more
yeah,
calm.
so he could kind of he could decompress. But yeah, there's all kinds of ways. Make sure you have an exit plan.
Guests
Mhm.
book
Whew.
FastPass to gain access to them. Finally, this increased, or more accurately, inflated the amount of FastPasses that could be offered, which helps support the idea to offer multiple FastPasses to guests before they arrived. With the basic framework figured out, plans move forward on XPass as Next Gen and My
You
Magic
used to
Plus
be able to
continue
get
develop.
these for free. You would
Mhm.
get them
Yeah.
for free, order them. I remember getting all excited when it's like, oh, yes, they're mailing our magic bands, to us. The kids could pick out what colors they wanted, and you had it, before you left. So it's kind of like an extra piece of Disney magic that got to you before you left. I was one of those that collected it. So I had like a pink one, a blue one, a green one. Like, you're giving it to me, so I might as well just collect them. And of course, now you do not get them for free. You will have to pay for a magic band, or if you get a magic band plus, one of those. So now you have to buy one, which is,
Even if you
it's
don't have
so
one.
cheap. You don't need the magic band for tickets into the park. You can just get the plastic card ticket and use it. The
Uh-huh.
magic band is, for say, you want to use it to link your credit card to, to your account, to open your door. You can use your magic band to do it. Now, of course, you can also use the app instead, which a lot of people did, which I did, because I was like, I'm not buying a magic band. I'll just use my own tech, which is, I think, what they're trying to get you to do, use your own stuff. But yeah, it's not, that's the only things that it's really necessary for. Easy way to tap, get into the park, tap, open your door, tap, charge your food to your room card, use your Disney dining plan, when the technology actually works. So that's keyword, when the technology actually works. So it's basically a
In
RFID
February of
that's in it.
2011, the Walt Disney Company's board of directors approved My Magic Plus with a budget of around $1 billion. Iger
Oh my God.
reportedly sternly told
Wow.
Stags, quote, "This better work."
Wow.
Oh,
Nothing says confidence than this better work.
yeah, this better work. And so much of it just
It didn't.
didn't work. I
No.
keep telling the story about supposedly all my stuff was there, everything paid for, advertised. Hey, you just use your magic band and experience the magic. Don't have to go back to your hotel. You can go straight to the parks, especially if your room wasn't ready, which 9 times out of 10 it wasn't ready. I'm like, okay, great. Go in, use a magic band. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna eat dinner or lunch. Hey, I'm going to use a magic band to pay for my meal. And what do I get told? Your dining plan is not connected to your magic band. I said, excuse me? That's what it said on the advertisement. I should just be able to tap and go. You're telling me I cannot tap and go. So literally they had to say, oh, well, you can just use your room charge to pay for it instead of your dining plan. I'm just like, I appreciate the workaround, but you shouldn't have to do the workaround. And it just ticked me off, because when you work in IT and these problems come up, you're just like, there's no excuse for this to not work. And it doesn't. It's so many people. It's like, it wasn't the pin numbers wouldn't work. They couldn't get into the parks, but it's just a hot freaking mess. I don't want no cooties armband. Oh, yeah, it did sound like Tarkin talking about this better
Became
work.
a mantra for the entire team. Stags was under enormous pressure to deliver on a project that didn't really make the parks or Disney money.
Now, when I put this in, does money immediately begin flowing out of my checking account? If
Sometimes,
it's working correctly, yes. Yes. Yeah.
In a shocking twist,
and
most of
he's
the
dead
rhetoric surrounding
serious
Next Gen and
too.
My Magic
That's pretty much what they want you to do.
He's-
You're just tapping,
he-
you're just tapping it. You're not thinking about it. Money
He
pulled out of your account.
Stagg specifically said that this is designed to remove the money from your wallet when you're on vacation there. And I'm paraphrasing, but he actually literally said that. Staggs was the golden child. He was going to be next in line for Iger's gig. That was the plan. It's one of the reasons why they were talking about it earlier, why they switched up the two jobs. You know, they moved Rasulo into an unfamiliar position. They put Staggs here. And, you know, Staggs was supposed to be the next big thing. This was budgeted for under $1 billion. It was supposed to be less than $750 million. The budget exploded well over $1 billion. They won't admit that it cost $2 billion, but it cost $2 billion. And it was not anywhere close to a resounding success. And again, it still involves a lot of cobbled together systems that just aren't designed to talk to each other. And it did remove money from guests' pockets, but it created a lot of confusion, frustration, and stress. And it still does to this very day. This whole thing makes your vacation overly complicated and frustrating, which is exactly the opposite thing that you want to have happen, which is why Universal is going to continue to take market share from Disney.
Oh yeah. It's like it's designed not to work. Yeah, you're not wrong, Goofar 35, especially considering how much of this next gen project was done with offshore IT labor. That was another big part of it. This was around this time where you see a lot of offshoring going on, like, oh, we can get it done for cheaper overseas. Not realizing that it's going to cost 3 times as much to do the work over because you're not paying qualified tech labor to do it. So, yeah, this around when a whole lot of offshoring was going on, and
Magic Plus internally
Disney was part of
not
it
about
too.
the potential profit from the system. Those developing the new technology and even much of the executive team believed in the more altruistic benefits of the program. The ability to guarantee
Sucking your money out.
experiences for vacationers, to simplify the experience of visiting the resort, to
Guarantee experiences. Sometimes those experiences were not guaranteed. At least when you're trying to book them.
improve traffic flow and crowd control at the parks, to create an IT infrastructure that could be built on over the coming decades, even to make cast members' jobs easier so they could focus more on providing great interactions with guests.
Want to know the latest interaction I had with a cast member? I couldn't even get my Magic Band Plus to scan at the ticket turnstile. So they had to call somebody over from guest services to scan my band with the iPad, and they had to do it twice. And then all of a sudden it worked. And it happens more often than not. Just jacking up the lines because they just cannot get that straight.
Wow.
These were the key components of the pitch. This is not to say that there were not some ulterior motives. Disney definitely wanted to impress with the program to establish themselves as a major player in the tech space, but this did not create a clear path to generate income. Apart from the new digital PhotoPass system, which had direct monetary benefits, the revenue that the $1 billion My Magic Plus overhaul would generate was almost entirely theoretical. Maybe guests would think less about their purchases when using their XBands, which would then lead to more spending.
Now that's what I was talking about, because I will admit, I'm a spendaholic when I would go to Disney on these trips because I'd see a bunch of stuff that I wanted. But on top of that, paying for tips, paying for meals, paying for other things. You don't really pay attention to when that's going. So sometimes I'd wind up hitting my spending limit. Like they depending on what category of hotel you're staying at. I think the deluxes it was like 2,500. I think the moderates it was at 1,000, and the values was like a 500. So as soon as you hit that limit, whatever card you had on file, it would charge that and it would reset your room rate to your room charge will cleared and you start back from zero. If you have other people in your party who have access to that room charge, there's more people charging that stuff. So it's very easy to just like tap and go and you're not really thinking about it as if you have cash. So I have had that happen, but this is what they want. They want you to spend money, not really paying attention because it's not coming out of your wallet.
Absolutely, because as a guest, that was so easy to do. It made it all convenient. You got your tap. The kids, whoever, they had the credit card. You just tap it, and then just you hit your limit. Then hey, we'll call back the hotel, get it increased.
Mhm.
I will say though, it was really convenient. It was too convenient because for all the reasons you said, because you don't have to worry about it. Oh, I don't have to worry pulling my credit card out, signing it off, or anything. You literally just boom, it's gone. Boom, it's gone, and then you get sticker shock when you see your hotel bill when you check out. That it's kind of like the Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Kelly, you spent $300
Yeah.
on room service, and you're like, oh my god, did I really spend that much money?
Yeah.
I mean, your character meals, your lunches,
Yeah.
you do get sinners, and then all of a sudden you lose track of it. And because if you go with cash or certain amount of cash, then you can balance it a little bit or your own credit card. Every time you pull out your card, you got to think about what you're doing with it. This was way too. I will say it was convenient. I loved it, but the problem is you got a few surprises at the end if you weren't careful.
You did. And that was an unfortunate circumstance and situation that they kind of put guests into. But I'll say this, because the system was so unreliable and because you really couldn't shop without a picture photo ID, this really did never meet the level of what they intended it to do. And I think we talked about it in the last session we did this, and it's just the convenience factor that this was supposed to be was never realized. I don't even think it was 50% realized, because if they were to be successful with this, it would have required them every time they came up to scan your band to just look at a photo of you that's already in their presence. That was the stumbling point for this. And it deserved to be. It deserved to be. And then you have kids that want to go buy something, and there's just tons and tons of problems with all of this. It never worked properly. Still doesn't to this day. Even on your phone, it doesn't work right.
Nope.
The tap and go ideas just never materialized. The best this became, and still is a really sophisticated room key.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And that was the only thing that consistently worked, was to open the door to my
See,
room.
and maybe I was an oddity. I didn't have any problems with it. I could understand if you did have problems, it could lock you up big time and all that. But we were lucky, I guess, that we didn't have the problems that a lot of other people had. So, and that's the thing is, if you have good experiences, you have good experiences. But what you're trying to tell everybody, if you were at a park and this band was your life. So one thing goes wrong, you're locked, you're stuck. You can't get in the park. You didn't bring your driver's license, photo ID, or credit card or something to back up pay. You got stuck. You could be lurched there. It was, the old saying, when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. It could really be bad if you had those hiccups.
Absolutely. Darth Plato says, simple question. Do these policies seek to cater to the interest of the customer or to the interest of Disney? there is a difference. It's the interest of Disney.
Mhm.
Hands down. Nothing about this system. I mean, they would promote it as, oh, this is great value for you, the consumer. But as the consumer, myself included,
Mm.
use this system, you could tell that the advantage was stacked towards Disney. It was not to your benefit. Disney wanted to keep you locked on property so you wouldn't leave the Disney bubble and to basically make you continue to spend money. And yes, your time, that's also something that can be spent. It's never to the benefit of you, even though they may package it that way. But
Mhm.
like every business, they want to basically make a profit. But with Disney, this point was just really disingenuous. This whole system made it increasingly frustrating for a family to book and plan a trip and actually enjoy being on vacation. And I think the last trip that I'd had there, I stayed at the Grand Floridian, and it was such a pain with getting the trip together, getting the fast passes together, and then all the crowds in the park. I was not interested in booking another Disney trip that way. And even my travel agent was just like, I've never had so many clients be so frustrated and angry about
Mhm.
booking Disney trips because of this system.
And
And
everything's to their advantage. Like we talked earlier with the FastPass system, and their idea was unwarranted variability. Well, their unwarranted variability was to them because they wanted to pigeonhole you, put you in things whether it worked for you or not. And same thing with this, to their advantage, because guess what? You get the person or the family. I fortunately could trust my kids; they were great, my missus. But if you get somebody that goes wild on your magic band, boom, 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 you got a big bill right there, So it is to the company's advantage because, like you said, they want the money. And the mentality is you see it, you buy it. That's a
yeah,
very powerful draw. Oh, I got credit balance on here. I got $500 I can spend. That's $80. I can do it. So you're tempted. There's temptations that part of marketing to customers is you sit there. It's so easy you may forget to think about whether I should buy it or not.
and the merchandise is just
Mm.
on overload. It used to be they dump you out in a gift shop after a ride. Okay, you
Mhm.
expect that. But it's like there's kiosks everywhere you turn, there's merchandise. And
Mhm.
like I discussed with Pro, it's like right before the fireworks, guess what? They push out the cart with all the bubble wands and the glow sticks and the balloons and all that expensive stuff to basically try and get you to buy it. I mean, you remember back in the day where you would expect the balloon vendors to come by? That was
Mhm.
like the thing. You got a balloon. That was kind of
Especially at
expected.
park closing.
Yes, especially at
Yes.
park
And they
closing.
looked
But
at your kids and hunted your kids down. They
yes,
did. The light circler guys too. If they saw kids, they were really wild. So
it was nuts. But it's an overload of merchandise now at the parks.
Maybe
And
the novelty of the
not
X Band
really.
would encourage more people to stay at Walt Disney World resorts, which would increase revenue. Maybe the data collected from everyone's X Bands and account profiles could be leveraged in ways to increase spending.
Now, I knew that.
Mhm.
I knew that's like why are you so adamant on getting all this data?
To enhance your travel experience.
Yeah, so they say.
Oh,
So they say. It's like when people tell me, "Oh, well, the reservation system is to the benefit of you, the consumer." I said, "No, it is not." Like as Culture said, it is to control capacity, and it is basically to data mine you.
mhm.
It's a gold mine of data, and they're not giving them up anytime soon. Now, when I was a kid, it was just like, you have this much money. When it's gone, it's gone.
Yep.
But you try to do it anyway because there's so much stash, that's in there. But yeah, this
Maybe a
system
few cast
here
member positions could be
did
automated
not
with
go
the
well.
system, which would save money. Maybe the traffic flow improvements would be so great that more guests could fit into the park. And the biggest maybe that the entire project was predicated on, maybe My Magic Plus would create such a wonderful experience for our guests that they would be more likely to return and more likely to recommend that others visit.
When I used to be on like the Diz boards or whatever, this whole implementation was so frustrating. This is when you started to hear the rumblings of, you know what, it's just so much work. I'm not interested in booking a Disney trip.
I'm kind of trying to think of if that was what their thought was, is this band and its novelty that would cause people to spend money or have vacations. It's like, that's a lot of power or faith you're putting in a band. I mean, who buys something, or who goes on a trip just because of a band? You know, now maybe the ease possibly, but I mean, it's like they're acting like this one move of technology is going to make people want to run to them. And I to me, it's a bad way to sell something. You know, you have no guarantee that product is going to work. You never, and yeah, you know, who knows what it is? If you have first time travelers, they're not going to understand what a Disney experience is. So what does a band matter to them?
No, I think for Disney, and culture can like chime in on this. All it basically was a marketing gimmick. They used to have these little cards, you know, with your ticket on it. That was pretty much the same thing. Put it in your wallet, tap it, boom, get in the park.
Yeah.
Use it for your room charge. Use it to open, you know, your room door. I didn't see why they wanted to replace that with like this band, and it was just a total gimmick. They're saying it's going to make things easier, but all it did was just make things more confusing.
Well, it because of the size of the band, I mean, they could more easily acquire data, telemetry data, everything that you were doing. It wouldn't take that large of an array with slightly more powerful readers and stuff that it basically are just fancy collection antennas to catch you on rides, so that could take a picture of you and link it to your account. That was one of the other things they wanted to do with it. They wanted to make sure that when a guest services person, a cast member, guest relations person was talking to you, they already knew who you were when you got there. That was also part of the conversation around why they were doing this. There was a lot to it, Lorena. I mean, there were many things it was supposed to be able to do. And when we got to the more advanced attractions, the new lands, the park that never gets talked about that was supposed to be built, you essentially were supposed to have incredibly interactive experiences all the time. Galaxy's Edge was supposed to be one of the test beds for this in the States, is you were supposed to be interacting with droids and with face characters and the whole 9 yards. They would be able to address you. You know, Kylo Ren would know who you are. Darth Vader would know who you are. Of course, it was supposed to be Darth and not Kylo when they originally conceived of this, but there was many things that would go along with this, and it would enhance the day. There would be ways for them to talk about I experienced this attraction today. What did you think about this? It also gave them a way to interact with you more accurately in surveys. See, all of this data mining you were just talking about, that was a gold mine, because then Disney could see, okay, what is the most appealing factor of this attraction for a guest? How did they feel about that 22-minute wait time? You know, all those things could be easily quantified because of all the data capture they were doing. There were entire months worth of meetings on everything that this was supposed to do. And then there were meetings about why none of this is happening.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was not good. Yeah. I know people in those meetings. So it's like,
oh man.
What's going on?
Yeah. I tell you. Well, folks, let's see. I think we got through
We got
8
about
minutes.
5 minutes. Oh, well, 8 minutes.
Was it
Wow.
5?
Woo-hoo.
Is it 8? I thought it was more. I guess I'm being optimistic. It was 8, but still great discussion. I love dissecting this stuff. And you guys in the chat, you guys have like some really, as always, great observations. And and questions, because I mean, we live this stuff. So sometimes there's certain questions we're not even thinking about asking, and it's just like, wow, that's a really good question. Good question to ask. Saw some people slide on in here, like Jay Charles says, "Hey, what's the topic of discussion?" Talking FastPass, talking FastPass. And Mora9 says, "Gave my kids each a gift card on trips. When they spent it, that was it. They learned really quick to be selective." Yeah, this is a great idea. When I took my nieces and nephews, I got them Disney gift cards with their money to spend, and like had their name on it and Sharpie. They got to pick out the designs, that they wanted. So if they saw something and they were like, "Can I have this?" I'm like, "Well, how much do you have on your gift card?" I'm like, "Okay, what you get is what you get." And it really does teach them to figure out what they need and like what they can what they can live without. So I always recommend that people get their kids gift cards, because you don't want your teenagers with the room charge. Really, it's
I will
tough
say
for
I was
them.
blessed.
I don't.
I would say I was blessed. My kids, I could trust them with everything, so I'm blessed.
Yeah, but that was pretty good. But I was just like, no, just me. They had enough money on the gift card to do what they wanted to do, and to be able to get around, because it was bad enough. I had, like, my sister had one too, back when she didn't have any kids. Hey, Ray, my brother-in-law. So she had the room charge too. So we were both buying stuff, and then we're just like, "What do you mean we hit our limit?" "Oh yeah, because it's both of us buying things."
It goes
So
up
that's
fast.
what the adults, you gotta
Yep.
watch out for that. You can use your Disney gift cards inside the park. Yes, Jerry Minoza, you can. Like I said, my nieces and nephews, they each had their own Disney gift card. I got them a cheap Disney lanyard from like Five Below, so they could have it around their neck. So when they wanted to buy something, they could just use the card that way. So yes, that is a way that I and a lot of people saved for Disney trips. We'd get gift cards and put money on the gift cards, and pay for stuff that way. Yes, Disney wants your money. So the gift cards work. I tell people they're great to have, especially to monitor your spending too. If you're just like, "Here's our dining budget," and put it on a Disney gift card, and you can use it. I've done that too, as well. So, folks, that is going to do it for this particular episode. At least we got through 5 minutes, so we got one more show next week. We're going to try to get through some more of this stuff. So, first of all, I want to thank my panelists for being here. Dadman, why don't we start with you and what you have going on? Let the folks know about.
Well, the first thing is I will always say thank you for having me on, Lorena. It's always a blast, always an honor to be on your channel and with you and with Culture. Dadman Walking 55 on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter. We make it one-stop shopping. We make it easy for you. But tonight at 10 o'clock, I'm going on with Mark D with a C on YouTube and Twitch, doing Sunday Night Geekery. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m., Whoopa Troopa, who was in our chat earlier, and I
saw her,
have a standing March Madness show. So tomorrow night at 7, we'll talk about the Final Four. We'll talk about this week's games. Of course, we have a really wonky Final Four. 9th seed Florida Atlantic, one of your Florida State schools.
Yes, I saw that.
Woo, yeah, against San Diego State. Like, really, who would ever have seen those two teams coming together? And then on the other side, the U, 2 teams from Florida in the Final Four. The U is there going to play UConn. So join us tomorrow night for some basketball talk. And listen, if you want to know more, even if you don't know sports, come to any of our sports shows, because we love questions and all. Friday night, I talk XFL football with Whoopa also. Watch Twitter for gaming. I'll probably do a video games Tuesday night or Thursday night. But on Wednesday, we have a very special show with Mrs. Dadman Walking, what we call Detour with the Dadmans. This week, we are going to visit Fort Pickens, which is over in Pensacola Bay. What's unique with it is one of 4 Union forts that did not fall into Southern hands during the American Civil War. And it's kind of odd, a weird looking fort to begin with, but hey, and check out everything on the videos on the channel that are sports, Fortnite, and non-Fortnite related, like with our histories and other things that we've had going on. So that's the latest. And of course, next Sunday night, I'll be back here for at least one more episode coming up with the wonderful Lorena and EFAP. So thank you, Lorena.
Oh, you are welcome. You're welcome, folks. Yes, please do subscribe to Dad Man.
Thank you.
Got his link in the description box. So please do check out his channel. Great info and culture. What do you have going on? Let folks know about.
Well, in about an hour, or just a little under an hour now, 58 minutes from now, I'll be doing a stream on my channel called Late Night Culture, where we, I'm a little loosey-goosey over there. I don't normally enforce my language policy on Sunday nights, which is, because I know I'm going to be forgiven. It is Sunday after all. But I usually have a bunch of people that join me randomly to talk about the goofy stuff that happened over the weekend, and there's usually plenty. And the ups and downs of all the stories and everything else. So Sunday's one of the busiest days I have now, because I'm usually recording videos. I'm doing exclusive videos now on or live streams on Rumble on Sundays, and obviously I do all my other YouTube stuff with all my other friends. So Sunday's busy, just busy. But I like being here. This was a lot of fun. Can't wait till we wrap it up, which will probably be 3-4 shows, maybe.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
We'll eventually get there. Oh, folks, please do make sure you're subscribed to Culture Casino. I've got his links in the chat. Usually by the time Late Night Culture is around, a face plant, but I need to take a morning off the next day. So
let me know. You give me just a few hours notice, and you will have an invitation to hang out with the cursing clowns that go to town.
Okay, I got to get on there sooner rather than later. And of course, folks, yes, Raina Creole, various streams coming up during the week. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, theme park therapy show. Culture will be there. Orange Grove 55 will be there. Theme park casual, I think he's gonna pop in. Oh my gosh, so many. There's so many people. I'm starting to forget who's on the show, but we get together, just talk stuff we like about theme parks, don't like about theme parks, and we're actually going to be talking about the live Little Mermaid live action. The actress somehow thinks that Ariel's feminist now, and we're going to talk about we're going to talk about that, because some of these people, I really think Disney PR is telling them the wrong things to say. So we're going to talk about that. Have great time with that. Let's see what's going on. No Dark Council this week. I will be on WDW Pro's new show on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So you can also catch me there. Friday, a video will be premiering of my series, An Audience with the Queen. Starry-Eyed Girl is my guest again, and we are talking season 1 of Doctor Who. So you definitely do not want to miss that. I just started watching Doctor Who, so it's so much fun. Great experience. And Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to be streaming live from the Magic Kingdom, and also taking a little segue over to the Grand Floridian to check out all of the disrespectful Easter candy and the chocolate eggs that the pastry chefs make from scratch over there. So we're going to do that. And I'm planning also to stream Saturday night at 8 p.m. Jackbox stream. Come up, have some fun. Members get first crack at the players panel, and just have some good old-fashioned fun and see what craziness you guys got.
Folks, you don't want to miss this. You do not want to miss this. These games are crazy with your family enough, but with Lorena and the chat out there, it's even double down fun. You got to be there.
And now that I know that Jillian is a rap star,
yeah, she really is.
You have to tune in.
She is. We need to start calling her Biggie Smalls. Well, folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. And thank you so much to my guests for being on the show. You guys take care, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.